Today, we're going to be checking out a new overdrive from a new company from Skyshatter Audio, the Shatter Drive. So like I said, this is a pretty new company. I actually hadn't heard of them. A friend of mine, had heard about them, picked up the drive, thought it was really cool, thought I might be interested in checking it out. And he actually contacted Skyshatter Audio and mentioned me, and they ended up sending me one of these to check out, which is pretty cool. So the idea of the overdrive was to have, a good modern overdrive, but something that had more usable tone controls. This has the tone controls, instead of just being one tone knob, split into bass and treble, so you can control how tight the low end is and how much kind of top end and cut you're getting. And the idea was that a lot of overdrives, the tone sweeps, even if they have them split, are usually only usable for, a very small range on the pedal, and they wanted this to have full range usability. And I think they really nailed that. I was commenting on that to them, with my first impressions, saying that I found that you could definitely fully use the bass and the treble knob without it getting, ever too woolly or really, really thin, or sometimes when you have these, top end controls, they can get really ice picky, like too much pick attack, too kind of harsh on the top end. And I never found myself having that issue with this. I found the tone controls to be much more usable than a lot of other overdrives on the market. There's also a three-way clipping switch. It goes from asymmetrical to symmetrical to something that they called cross asymmetrical. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but that's just what they called it. And of course, I'll show that in the video as well. I ended up really liking this on my 6505 when I was, first trying it out and giving them my impressions of it. And I told them that, I said, this sounds great on my 6505. It marries really well with it. And they told me, funny enough, they voiced this primarily on their own personal 6534, which, that makes sense. If you're going to voice it on something like this, and then I use it on essentially basically the same platform or a super similar platform, it's going to sound really good on there. And that's ended up what happening. It was just kind of a happy accident. So that's enough talking about the features of the drive. Let's actually hear this inside and outside of a mix. Like I said, it's going to go into my 6505 1992 original, which is going to be going into my Two Notes Captor X with a IR blend of my VM1265 and DV77 speakers. And we'll hear it outside of a mix on those same settings, as well as we're going to hear it go into the clean channel of my BE50 Deluxe, just so we can hear it as a standalone overdrive as well. Let's check it out. So it absolutely does the thing. Like I said, it sounds great on my 6505. You heard when I turned it off on the in mix, like it definitely tightened things up, added not just saturation, but a lot of cut. It kind of just sounds flubby and like it kind of drops out of the mix a bit when you turn it off. But on, it's just pure aggression. The clipping modes were definitely more apparent when I was using it as a standard overdrive, not as a boost, but they definitely do have an effect as a boost. You know, kind of how much top end you're getting or compression, which can sometimes come down to a feel thing, but it definitely changes how the pedal performs. And like I said about the tone controls, they never got to a place where they were really harsh or unusable. I think that they did a pretty good job with that, since their goal was to, you know, make a drive that has much more usable tone controls across their full sweep, instead of just having them in a sweet spot and then the rest of the tone control is just kind of useless. Overall, it's a great overdrive, sounds great on my 6505. Apparently he also voiced this on one of his Mesa Mark series amps, and I believe something else, I can't remember exactly, but you know, if you're looking for a good overdrive, something maybe a little bit different, or aren't happy with the tone sweeps that you have on the current drives or boosts that you're using, this definitely is worth checking out. I'll have a link down to this below so you can check out the drive for yourself. Thank you for watching, guys. Stay metal.